Welcome to our channel, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 interviews where celebs roasted each other.
Inside you is just awful.
For this list, we'll be looking at the funniest moments where A-listers clapped back at each other during press junkets. Did we miss any of your favorite roasts? Let us know in the comments. These two MCU actors have as much chemistry off-screen as they do on it. And like the best of friends, they can hold back on burns. One of their best exchanges comes when Holland learns that Mackie hasn't seen Spider-Man: Homecoming.
I need to watch this movie.
You haven't seen Spider-Man: Homecoming?
The Spidey actor infamously says that he missed out on the Falcon movie for one glaring reason. Honestly, the audience's reaction pretty much speaks for itself.
I haven't seen the Falcon. Oh no, there isn't one. Sorry.
Although Mackie will lead an MCU movie in Captain America: New World Order, that doesn't make this gut-busting comeback any less legendary. Even Mackie admits that it was well played.
Well played, sir. Well played.
There's just something incredibly satisfying about an off-the-cuff quip, especially when it comes from the person you least expect. A perfect example of a quick-witted dig came when McFarlane was sitting next to Theron. The fun even complimented the size and energy of the audience at this British talk show, while comparing it to the lackluster crowds at American equivalents.
It's a huge crowd, and you go to the Tonight Show in the States and there's 5 people.
However, Theron quickly chimes in to completely destroy him with only a few words.
That's only when you're there.
When she casually reaches for a glass of water, it felt like she utterly dropped the mic on the whole thing. We're honestly not sure how anyone's supposed to come back from a burn like that. Nothing turns a rock into a pebble more than a few well-placed digs. Clearly, Hart had a lot of them to get off his chest before he got in front of the camera for this interview with his co-star. Fortunately, we got to witness this roast firsthand.
First of all, he can't play the guitar. He never comes to Joe's.
While answering questions is great, sometimes a slew of teasing burns can be more enlightening than proper questions would ever be. Where else can you learn so many personal details about The Rock from one of his closest collaborators?
You got gas. Do people know that?
What?
Huh? Do they know about Gassy Gary over here?
Don't say that.
Even as things go off the rails, their banter is all in good fun. Since both actors end the rant smiling and laughing, it's hard not to do the same.
See, I knew this was gonna go
Okay.
off the rails, and this is perfect.
Admittedly, Zach Galifianakis doesn't have an Oscar like some of his guests, but if there was an Academy Award for comedy roasts, he would win it hands down. Galifianakis made a name for himself both dishing and taking some serious heat. Celebs like Haley Steinfeld have learned exactly what he's capable of.
You were in Pitch Perfect 2 and 3. Do you ever wish you had been in the good one?
However, she's far from the only young actress to get caught in Galifianakis' comedy crossfire. When he had Jennifer Lawrence on, she held her own with some sharp-tongued retorts of her own.
You played in a movie called The Hunger Games.
Yeah, isn't that your life story?
But in the end, Galifianakis has a button that plays her off like a real acceptance speech would. It's a method that's simple and a bit cheap, but it definitely works like a charm.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
In the Oscar tradition. Good luck.
As a general rule of thumb, it's never a good idea to roast a king of roasts. During an interview between Garner and O'Brien, the actress throws some serious shade at the host's grammar.
There's a time when you snuck into the room to see what the...
I sneaked into the room. Snuck isn't a word, Conan. And you went to Harvard and you should know.
As the audience erupts and cheers, he puts on a face that tells you he's preparing something special. Conan eventually pays this off when he harnesses the power of a dictionary to turn the tables back on her.
I keep a dictionary down here and I just found it.
It's a delightful reversal of fate, especially since both keep it professional enough to not feel mean-spirited. And as they say themselves, Garner could still totally kick O'Brien's butt. Even Avengers have their squabbles, but instead of fighting for the fate of humanity this time around, the actors behind the heroes let off steam by playing a rousing game of playground insults.
You're just really ugly.
Thanks.
Things start off innocently with jabs about cardigans and immature comments about each other's inner and outer looks. However, things really heat up after Hemsworth takes a shot at Johansson's intelligence.
It's lucky you're beautiful because there's nothing up here.
What? That's mean.
Before long, they get personal and they soon end up in a hilariously heated debate about how they are on set. Although it has a friendly tone, it still feels like there were some genuine clapbacks buried in those laughs.
I don't think you've ever been on time, Scarlett.
So not
Do you need a watch?
You think being a world-renowned pop sensation would earn you some serious street cred in Hollywood. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Kesha to get a hug from her idol, Jerry Seinfeld. After she runs up to ask for an embrace, the comedian denies her.
No thanks. No thanks.
Seinfeld sends her off while she's visibly taken aback. The worst part, immediately following, he claims to have no idea who Kesha even is. Not even the iconic opening lyrics of TikToks seem to jog his memory.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, it's Kesha.
Okay. Well, I wish it.
The whole exchange felt like a scene from Seinfeld. Unfortunately for all parties involved, it was all too real. All in all, this awkward exchange is a worthy reminder that unintentional burns are by far the hottest.
I'm 63. I don't know every pop star. I don't know every...
If you're sitting across from comedian Jimmy Carr, there's a high chance that you could be roasted to a crisp at any moment. Reality star Amy Childs learned this the hard way when she was a celebrity guest on his show.
You went to private school?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't a waste of money.
Once Carr heard that she went to private school, he mocked the idea with a searing joke.
When you say private school, were you a boarder? Because I think I've seen this DVD.
But the ridicule didn't stop there either. When Childs defended herself by saying she achieved the leadership position of head girl, Carr couldn't resist responding.
I was head girl.
You were head girl.
Head girl.
This is the same.
After a roast like that, it's just amazing there wasn't a smoke alarm going off on stage. Apparently, the only thing scarier than the Hulk is the guy who plays him. After Whitcomb leveled some playful jabs at the MCU, Ruffalo didn't have to go green to return the favor. He returns the heat when the guests talk about their fears. By playing into Whitcomb's time writing for the Dora the Explorer magazine, Ruffalo is able to come up with a surprising clapback. The gag practically has Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen falling over. It's only fitting that Ruffalo then excuses himself from the talk show altogether in shame. When he returns, it seems that he, Whitcomb, and the entire audience are all equally stunned. Guess they were impressed that Ruffalo could be more savage than the Hulk. This late-night host learned the hard way why you never try to outsass a teenager. During a game involving silly string and probing questions, Fallon teasingly asked Wolfhard if he knows how to read. But despite being the guest at this show, a Stranger Things star doesn't hesitate to throw an insult right back at the host. Honestly, that quick wit deserves props.
Can you host?
The funniest part comes when Wolfhard clearly questions his actions before Fallon laughs it off like a pro. Although they hug it out like best buds, Wolfhard still ends up with some silly string in his hair after that burn.